Hello dear viewers, welcome to this latest edition of the news in English on Rwanda Television. My name is Serge Hori. We'll begin with the headlines. The Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning has announced that Rwanda's gross domestic product, or GDP, grew by 7.8% in the first quarter of 2025 compared to the same period in 2024. A delegation from Uganda visited the special economic zone located in Masoro, Kigali City, officially touring the Africa Improved Foods factory, which produces fortified flour aimed at children suffering from malnutrition and stunting. And on the international scene, more European countries have begun evacuating their citizens from Israel and Iran. Portugal, Romania, and Serbia are among those helping their citizens to leave the region as the fighting between the Middle Eastern powers continues unabated. Now straight to the details. The Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning has announced that Rwanda's gross domestic product, or GDP, grew by 7.8% in the first quarter of 2025 compared to the same period last year. This growth was primarily driven by the service sector, which outperformed other sectors of the economy. According to the ministry, the country's GDP increased from over 4 trillion Rwandan francs in the first quarter of 2024 to more than 5 trillion Rwandan francs in the first quarter of this year. While the agricultural sector also contributed significantly to the GDP growth, data shows a decline in the production of some staple crops. Maize production dropped by 5% and bean production declined by 1%. Other sectors that contributed to the overall increase include a 7% rise in the output of manufacturing industries and a 14% increase in the output of wholesale and retail trade. The figures reflect a broad-based economic recovery and continued momentum across key sectors despite localized challenges in agricultural output. Now, the Ministry of Education has highlighted that secondary schools have played a significant role in the country's development over the past 31 years, and that existing challenges in the education sector are progressively being addressed. This was emphasized on Friday during a national forum on the overall state of education in Rwanda, especially focusing on secondary education, technical and vocational education and training, that's TVET, and general professional training. Key issues such as school dropouts and the way subject combinations are offered in secondary schools was central to the discussions and identified as requiring urgent solutions. The issue of school dropouts is particularly prevalent among students in their second year of secondary school. Collaboration between parents and teachers, especially in engaging and supporting students during this critical period, was proposed as one of the key solutions to help students remain in school and develop a stronger attachment to their studies. The Minister of Education, Joseph Sengimana, stated that reforms have already been introduced concerning subject combinations with the aim of addressing previously identified problems. In resolutions passed by the Cabinet earlier this month, reforms were approved to establish a more flexible learning system. Under this new approach, students will study core subjects along with others they choose to support their individual talents and career aspirations. Now, over 2,700 students from across Rwanda have gathered to explore how saving and investing can shape their financial futures through Capital Market Youth Forum held in Kigali. We have the details with William Evans Mutawazi.
According to the CEO of the Capital Market Authority, the Capital Market Youth Forum is a transformation of the Capital Market Universe Challenge into a broader platform which allows engagement more widely and meaningfully with students, young professionals, and communities across.
This alone, we registered 571 contestants, and today we are going to honor the top 25 outstanding participants who will receive awards totaling 6 million Rwandan francs. Distributed in shares, bonds, units, and laying a foundation for them to be active investors.
Honorable Mutesi Rusagara, the Minister of State for Resource Mobilization and Public Investment, called upon the youth to take advantage of the opportunities available for growth in Rwanda.
as a country, there's so many opportunities for growth. We've heard about the opportunities with youth. There's a lot of opportunities in different sectors. And what capital markets are coming to do is to bridge how these opportunities can get access to finance and access to different types of finance. Sometimes you need equity, sometimes you need debt. And that's the opportunity that's available to all of us going forward as we think about how do we bridge, how do we make, achieve our development ambitions, but how do we do it in a way that makes not only the country wealthy, but also makes individuals wealthy. It's through initiatives like this where you start to build your knowledge, where you start to think through how you can take advantage of the capital markets, and it also helps increase that knowledge countrywide, so that it's not just you but also the communities that you're coming from that can help increase capital market literacy going forward. And that's how we'll get more of you investing, but I think even more importantly, more of you becoming the companies that many of us will invest in going forward.
Nahimana Edwin, who is among the winners of the 6 million Rwandan francs reward, encourages young people to start saving now instead of waiting for tomorrow.
So it was somehow a learning experience because we learned a lot as we go through the phases. If you want to get better, start now. You can't do saving like after 20 years. Do it now, because the more you start early, the more you earn more. And even the way you're gonna make yourself proud after a long period of time. So my advice to young people is that they must start now in saving, but also minding also investment.
Over 10,000 students who joined the Capital Market Challenge, 571 contestants reached advanced stages, and 25 winners will receive 6 million Rwandan francs to fund their innovative projects. William Evans, RTV News.
On Thursday, students from the University of Rwanda showcased a digital program they called Legacy of Rwanda, which translates to the heritage of Rwanda. The program features visual presentations of historical and cultural landmarks, marking the conclusion of the fourth phase of a national project promoting the values of Ndi Umunyarwanda in higher learning institutions. The event brought together students from various universities and higher learning institutions across the country, where they presented different initiatives and projects, including the Legacy of Rwanda program. This initiative uses technology to depict historical narratives and core values that foster unity, reconciliation, and resilience. The Minister of State in the Ministry of Education, Claudette Irere, emphasized that such projects should be integrated more deeply into students' daily lives as they form the foundation of sustainable development. A spokesperson for the Rwanda Investigation Bureau, Dr. Thierry Murangira, stated that promoting unity and values cannot be achieved without quality education that combats hatred, discrimination, and divisionism. Julien Wachu, representing Unity Club in Rumuri, reminded the participants that young people must be taught the nation's history early so that they can become the foundation of Rwanda's bright future. The event also served as a platform for discussion, sharing experiences and strengthening patriotic values and exemplary citizenship within the Rwandan society. It was concluded with the awarding of the best performing projects. Now, a delegation from Uganda visited the Special Economic Zone located at Masoro in Kigali City, specifically touring the Africa Improved Foods Factory, which produces fortified flour aimed at children suffering from malnutrition and stunting. The Ugandan delegation was led by that country's Minister for Youth and Children Affairs. They were also accompanied by retired General Robert Rusoke, Uganda's ambassador to Rwanda. Now, the minister stated that the visit to Africa Improved Foods showed them that the Rwandan leadership has great oversight, that is foresight, pardon me, and that it should serve as a good example for other leaders across Africa.
I want to thank in a special way, thank the President of Rwanda, General Paul Kagame, and the government of Rwanda for having this visionary idea of partnering with the Dutch, with investors from Netherlands to start this nutrition factory. What I can take from here is they are doing the right thing. One, I want to appreciate their standard, their laboratory and science research standard. And then I want to appreciate the cleanness of the factory. And then I want also to thank them that they are using 100% African goods. They're using African soya, which is widely grown in Uganda and Rwanda. They're using African corn, the maize, which we grow in Uganda and Rwanda and other East African countries. They're also using milk, skinned milk, which we have in plenty in Western Uganda and some parts of Uganda. And also I appreciate that now the government of Rwanda, through their venture, through the Nyanzi factory, the Ame factory, they are starting powdered milk. So this is now African products made to the standard of the world to safeguard our children, not only in Rwanda, but in Uganda and in East Africa and in Africa. Yeah.
Honorable Minister, can we expect the partnership or agreement you are going to sign with this factory?
I will not sign. We have a nutrition committee which is chaired by the Prime Minister. This is our first initial visit. They visited us for an invitation. We have honored the invitation. Now we shall go back and then invite them for the high-level meeting, which is chaired by Right Honorable Prime Minister Robin Anabanja. So the decision to buy is under the office of the Prime Minister. But I will advocate, because I know and I've seen like your nutrition level, your deficiency level, they are all going down as a result of feeding. And I'm also impressed that you are feeding, this factory feeds 1.5 million Rwandese children every day. And they are in excess capacity of what they are producing. So they have more than enough to supply to neighboring countries. So I'm really impressed.
Abraham Madai, the country director of Africa Improved Foods in Rwanda, said that the company aims to continue working with African governments to combat malnutrition and child stunting on the continent.
We today in Africa have the capability of creating the correct products to fight infant malnutrition, and it has to be done in the first 1,000 days. And this product that we are producing in Africa Improved Foods factory has the same quality standards as what is produced either in Europe or in USA. So we in Africa have the best products that is needed to fight or combat infant malnutrition, and it is therefore much more easier for the African nations to actually be self-reliant as a continent in improving the health of the future generation.
The Africa Improved Foods factory produces fortified flour for children affected by malnutrition and stunting, which it supplies to the World Food Programme and to Rwanda's Ministry of Health. The factory was inaugurated back in 2016, having been built on an investment of over $65 million. Now, at the Rwanda National Police College, located in Musanze district, graduation certificates were awarded to 34 students who completed the 13th intake of the Police Senior Command and Staff course. This one-year advanced course is designed for senior officers. Among the graduates, 20 were from Rwanda's security institutions, including the Rwanda National Police, the National Intelligence and Security Service, the Rwanda Investigation Bureau, and the Rwanda Correctional Service. The remaining 14 came from other African countries, namely Botswana, the Central African Republic, Kenya, Lesotho, Malawi, Namibia, Somalia, and South Sudan. Graduates expressed that they left the course equipped with valuable knowledge and experience to enhance their professional duties.
I've been here for 1 year now. Very tremendous year, very wonderful. And I would like to thank the people of Rwanda, their hospitality, welcoming, model, the way they do their things. I'm really very happy, and particularly also want to thank the Rwanda National Police and the college, University of Rwanda, African Leadership University, for the tremendous job that they have done. They have transformed our life, our thinking, our previous thinking, especially on leadership and conflict transformation. Yeah, we were thinking differently, but now, as we took the journey of the study of peace and conflict transformation from Africa from University of Rwanda, and the leadership, strategic leadership, and management from Africa Leadership University. Those components have really shown on how we can approach the issues that are at hand, especially for those of us who are coming from a conflict undergoing countries like South Sudan. We have seen how conflict can really take back the country. And we have also learned from the history of Rwanda, the way they have overcome their issues. And this is the model. And we have to appreciate how they have overcome that issue that have occurred and how they have come this far. I wish in my remaining time to copy, if I have any position of authority in my very small place, to try and copy what I have seen for the year that I have spent in Rwanda. I have to thank the leadership of this country, the leadership of the police, everybody who have contributed, who have welcomed us. The components are more, and we were thinking on whether are we going to finish really, but this is the end. We are here now. The leadership component, that start by saying leadership start with you. You have to know yourself. When you know yourself, you will know others. That is very important. I'm really very happy, and I will try my best, wherever I will be, to imitate what I have seen. Peace and conflict transformation is important for us. We have to see how we can be living in peace. We have enjoyed peace in Rwanda. You can move around. You can see people moving at night. Everybody is doing their businesses. Children are going to school. Everybody is doing what they are supposed to do as human. And that is very important. As we African, we have to see and visit this country, have time and see how they have done their thing. You can even go to the least citizen of this country and they know what they are doing and they really know what peace is. Up to there, I don't want to go far. I have to appreciate the leadership of the police, the leadership of the country, all the society, communities of Rwanda, of their hospitality and welcoming.
The skills acquired here will help me to fulfill my responsibilities, to work professionally in policing first, and then in peace building. Then for my leadership, to be a good leader to my fellow police officers, and even to serve with confidence.
The Minister of Interior, Dr. Vincent Biruta, highlighted that the fact that these courses are offered in Rwanda reflects the commitment of African nations to collectively address their shared security challenges.
I wish to thank all African countries that sent students to attend this course. This is a proof that African countries are working together to find solutions to our challenges and contribute to building the peaceful continent we want. This joint training venture is one of the key tools for encouraging such cooperation, fostering exchange of experience, information sharing, and providing a forum for designing joint strategies to respond to crime-related challenges.
Out of the 34 graduates, 33 were also awarded a master's degree in peace studies and conflict resolution from the University of Rwanda, and all received a postgraduate diploma in strategic leadership and management from the African Leadership University. Over 1,000 members of the Rwanda Cooperative Alliance have visited the Murambi Genocide Memorial. The governor of the southern province, Alice Kaitesi, joined them in the commemoration activities, urging them to continuously remember the history of the genocide against the Tutsi, as it is a source of strength for nation building. The members of the Rwanda Cooperative Alliance combined their visit to the Murambi Genocide Memorial in Nyamagabe district with commemorating the 31st anniversary of the genocide against the Tutsi, in which over 50,000 Tutsi were killed on Murambi Hill on the 21st of April in 1994. Their activities included laying wreaths on the mass graves, honoring the over 50,000 Tutsi who were killed at Murambi, and lighting the flame of remembrance as a symbol of Rwanda's journey from darkness to light. They also received testimonies on the massacres that happened at the site. One of the over 1,000 cooperative members who visited the Murambi Memorial said that as a public transport operator, he is committed to being a messenger in the fight against genocide ideology and in promoting unity and resilience among Rwandans through his daily interactions. The president of the Rwanda Cooperative Alliance noted that visiting the Murambi Genocide Memorial offers an opportunity to deepen their understanding of the history of the genocide against the Tutsi and to use that knowledge as a tool to fulfill their responsibilities in building the nation. In the message delivered to the cooperative members, it was highlighted that in Rwanda's history, some cooperatives and associations had evolved into political movements that harbored and promoted genocidal ideologies. Thus, they were urged to remain vigilant and avoid repeating such mistakes. Governor Alice Kaitesi reminded members of the alliance as key contributors to national development that remembrance is a source of strength from which they can draw to help build the country. The Rwanda Cooperative Alliance is composed of over 10,000 primary cooperatives engaged in various sectors of work. We've come to the conclusion of this edition of the news. I thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you have a great weekend ahead of you. Goodbye.